Okay, welcome back to the show, folks. We got James Townsend back in the house for his Season 3 premiere. Don't applaud to yourself, sir. That's fame. That's fame. So you've got, we've got...
Brain Busters. Modernly called Brain Busters. They date back, you know, up in, you know, obviously the Egyptians and beyond, you know, but my collection here starts from the 40s. Okay, so let's start. We're going to go from here to here. These obviously look the oldest because they're handcrafted, and there was time to, you know, when you look at these, you go, man, there was a person that put hours and hours, maybe days, into putting this together, and you know, us being Americans, the throwaway society that we are, go, I don't want to, you know, blah blah blah. No respect for craftsmanship. So let's get into these first. Roughly late 40s into the 50s, occupied Japan started marketing these towards the Americans. After we bombed the hell out of them. After we, you know, they tried to find ways to capitalize on Americans being there, and one of them was taking their ancient puzzles, which, you know, back then were carved with jade and stuff, if you can find real stuff, of course, but this is occupied Japan towards Americans. And these, okay, in this one in particular, and we'll get to the Rubik's Cube here in a second, this, to me, kind of seems like a forerunner to that. Yeah, well, sure. This particular one. Now, is there a way to kind of show the folks at home what we got going on here? Basically, once you find out how to start taking it apart, it comes apart into little pieces, and, well, comes apart into little pieces, then you end up with a bunch of pieces. Put it back together is not quite as easy, that's for sure. So when you got this, say this is late 40s, wherever, and we got this, it would come completely disassembled? No, it'd come like this, and you'd have a display, just a piece of paper that kind of describes roughly how to put it back together. And I have a couple of those. I don't know why I didn't bring them, but I've laminated. I don't know why you didn't either. I know. The elephant one in particular, I have the one that shows how to. That is absolutely cool. And you got the ears. You can move the ears around too. That is really cool. A neat little piece of folk art is someone has, you know, identified it with letters on how to put it together. Nice. A, B, C, D, how to. Now, where did you get these? Where did you get these from? Some of them I got off of eBay. Some of them I've. Yeah, you're a big eBay guy. Yeah, sure. I sell on eBay. I gain on eBay. I trade on eBay. Well, you've got enough stuff to do a little give and take on that. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, sure. You know, you find stuff that people like and carry it onto their collections. Okay, so we're moving on to the ring puzzles. The Japanese ring puzzles that you get together and take apart. That's something else, another brain buster. And what I like about this is this is the original packaging, and even. Oh man! It's been in my venture. Oh God! It smells old and will hit you if you smell it like it's old. But that's kind of cool. I mean, you know, and even on the inside, how to put it together. You've got instructions and all that. This is really cool, James. This kind of stuff is probably as old as my parents. And it's people like you that are cool, that respect it, and they keep it around. Okay, so we're moving on to a different decade. Yeah. What do we got here? Well, this is kind of it's what's called the chaotic cube, and you can see that you pull apart these different, pull out these different rods. Hey, you said rod. And then the whole thing comes apart and becomes a shambled mess in front of your lap. And it only goes back together one way, and you got to kind of memorize the colors to get it back. Oh, wait a minute. Now, to say it's a chaotic mess, this is a plastic. No, does this cube itself, the teal cube, does it come apart? It comes apart into little bitty plates, and becomes chaos. So the only way we can get at least this back together is if these pegs are put in the precise way. That's cool. Okay. All right. Cool. And what's the decade on this, sir? 1970. 1970. I believe there's a copyright on it that says 1970 straight up. There it is. There it is. Right there. Pacific Game Company. Of course, it was made in Japan. Yeah. And you kind of have a love affair with the Japanese, because I know you had the elves. Let's show a shot of the elves.
The weird elves.
The Hong Kong elves.
The Hong Kong elves.
Moving on to the chaotic.
Well, actually, that would be Chinese.
Yeah, well, you know. Yeah.
Well, because the British had Hong Kong for a long time, and now I believe a few years ago that it came back under Chinese.
Yeah.
But I guess
After
the Orient. I guess you have a fascination with the Orient.
Sure.
Because you also brought on last season the
Japanese rumba.
rumba, ay, ay, ay. And I'll put it to you this way, folks. Closing credits, going to be Japanese rumba.
Sure.
Great stuff. So what do you have for us now?
Now moving on to the cubissimo.
The cubissimo.
It somehow assembles in a cube. Good luck getting it back together is the key there. But you know, then you have all these other different block patterns that you could possibly render later on. But you know, different puzzles.
So it comes already put together. So the idea is, and to save us a lot of madness later, basically you just want to knock it over and spread it out,
and then
you take
chaotic cube.
Okay, so you take this diagram and go, okay, this is the fun aspect of it. You get some friends together, or you're by yourself, and you go, all right, I'm going to make this pattern or this pattern. Okay, cool.
That's cool. And then
what year? What
1971
decade? 1971. So a year after Ring Puzzles.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're moving on to the 1980s.
80s, roughly. You have an offshoot of the Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube.
I don't know if this has a name, but you know, it's basically the same concept.
The Rubik's Ball.
The Rubik's Ball, there you go. You basically kind of move around like a Rubik's Cube, trying to get the ball together. If anybody knows how to solve the Rubik's Cube, please get a hold of me at the Iguana or at a Mighty Kind show. And I can definitely use some advice, because I've solved almost all these puzzles, except the Rubik's Cube. It's a bloody mess as far as I'm concerned.
We had a Rubik's Cube when I was a kid, and all right, I'm going to admit something. I kind of got close. I don't know how, and I'm talking I was in kindergarten. Maybe somebody came over and something, but it seemed kind of close to being, you know, perfected, you know, done. I figured it out. And the Rubik's Cube that we had stickers. So I was okay.
I admit it. I did it too.
I said, "Hey, Mom, look, I got it done." And I was a cheater. I was Barry Switzer. I cheated my ass off on that one. But you know what? I remember seeing a commercial in the late 80s for a Rubik's Cube that you could actually take the pieces out.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, look, that's just too easy. I mean, at least I was pulling stickers off. At least I was trying to cheat with a cloak and dagger type mentality in mind, but I don't know. So we've got
65.
65.
It's a mathematical puzzle that can only go, apparently I've tried to solve it here and failed, might I add. But 65 is a mathematical puzzle. You've got to get everything to go 65 all the way across, up and down.
Let's take this out here.
Okay.
So how does this work, though? This is a little bit different than what we've got, because we're dealing with, if you look at the shapes, we're dealing with cubes and spheres. Spheres, not spears, like some people around here.
Basically, it's like the traditional 15 puzzle, where you move the puzzle pieces around, you get 1 through 15, or you got to make a picture. But this one, you have to mathematically move things around to where all sides eventually 65, 65, 65.
Right.
Even diagonal on both sides. So.
And what was the year on this? 87?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, let's see. Look. 1987. Cool. It kind of looks 80s, because in the 80s we got a little bit more computer oriented. So you'd see a lot of fonts for stuff with that computer font look. Yeah, exactly. Okay, now we're moving on to where we're kind of at now. Yeah, I know. Well, the only reason I say that, folks, is because there's a www. There's an internet address on this one. Go ahead and rock that one out.
That's just an advertisement for some medical company. You know, get your drug and do it. You know, is basically what that is. You know.
So at the earliest that we could date something like this would be the late 90s.
Late 90s, because it has the www. It's advertisement of some sort.
Well, we still have the www.